8 years later, Tom Cruise's exhilarating crime thriller deserves your attention. These days, especially since the revitalization of the Mission Impossible franchise with Ghost Protocol, Tom Cruise tends to play the same kind of guy in every movie. A pathologically competent overachiever with the inner monologue of a shark who is, generally, on the side of the angels. It's rare to see him step out from his apparent comfort zone playing Ethan Hunt and guys just like Ethan Hunt, but it's often pretty compelling when he does. Just look at Edge of Tomorrow, where he's playing a version of his usual persona who is a total jerk. Cruise also played against type in another film from Edge of Tomorrow director Doug Liman, American Made, and it's now a streaming hit. American Made is currently the top movie in Paramount Plus, according to Flix Patrol, which is a nice reversal of fortune for a movie that somewhat flew under the radar upon its initial release in 2017. That's sort of a pun if you know what American Made is about. It made $134 million on a $50 million budget, which is slow for a Cruise movie, though it was received well by critics and has an 85% on Rotten Tomatoes. Finally, though, people are getting on board with what is ultimately a rather dark and cynical dramedy. What is American Made about? Loosely based on the life of a man named Barry Seal, Cruise plays a pilot in 1978 who smuggles Cuban cigars into the United States and gets recruited by the CIA to fly missions over South America in a spy plane. The CIA eventually starts having him transport guns to the Nicaraguan Contras, and he also starts smuggling drugs into the US for Pablo Escobar's Medellín Cartel. Also, he can get richer and richer. Of course, he also enjoys the dangerous thrill of all the double dealing and sneaking around. Put simply, Tom Cruise isn't playing a Tom Cruise type. He's greedy and opportunistic, and things don't work out for him the way that they do in nearly every other Tom Cruise movie. You can find out what happened to the real Barry Seal with a quick Google. That alone gives it a fairly unique spot in the modern Tom Cruise canon, which makes it worth a look. American Made also gets into the larger impact of the CIA's intrusions into South America, which is a scandal that people don't think about too often these days, even though the United States should have learned from it a little better than it did. But what matters is that this is an underappreciated Tom Cruise movie in which he plays someone who is not a great guy, which is unusual. There was a time when Tom Cruise was an exciting young actor who went out of his way to work with interesting filmmakers in hopes of doing interesting things. American Made isn't necessarily a return to that, but it does suggest that that guy is still in there somewhere.